Let him laugh, let him weep, let him yell, let him sing. All they wanna say. Let him lay me traps and men to pray to Jehovah, me I pray. Let him laugh, let him weep, let him yell, let him sing. All they wanna say. Let him lay me traps and men to pray to Jehovah, me I pray. Let I be me instead of playing games. For chasing fame, let somebody sweat the lack of flames. No, living my life to the fullest and shout out my halala to the fullest. Let my lungs out. I'm still rising up to greater heights as long as
Hello, Ponjos and Bonani. Welcome to Rise to Greater Heights Network, where you can turn your fears into greater success while seizing new opportunities. It is so significant to have a positive mindset, more especially under these circumstances. So this network has the potential to completely revolutionize every aspect of your life and career. My name is Dr. Riel Nkunene, and I'm going to be your host for today. So if you're watching us online, please feel free to put in the chat box where you're watching us from and what you hope to achieve from our podcast. Today, we are surrounded by greatness in the World Wide Web. We have amazing speakers who's going to share some nuggets on how to rise to greater heights. How to rise to greater heights. So in Queensland, we have Pamela Milliken. And in the Netherlands, we have Vela Bilen. And in France, we have Carissa Brockman. And finally, in Ontario, we have Jen McCutcheon. I hope I didn't butcher your last name, Jen. Please forgive me. So at this moment, I'm just going to let our speakers to introduce themselves. So you can go ahead, Pamela.
Good morning, and thank you for having me on this podcast. I absolutely love it. I do want to reiterate, it's 1 a.m. in the morning, so please forgive me if I stumble over my words. My name is Pamela Milliken. I live in Queensland in Australia, and I absolutely love coaching people on how to change the quality of their thinking so they can get better results in their lives, because where you live emotionally is where you live physically. So I really love helping people get out of their headspace and get into the workspace, career space, relationship space in a more positive and proactive way. And yeah, I'm a mother of 2 children. I'm 62 years old, and my motto is just like have a go, and it doesn't matter how much you fail, because there is no failure, there's only feedback. So that's kind of my ethos for everything in life.
Oh, wow. It's an honor to have you, Pamela. And really,
Thank you.
Oh, you're not 62. You could have not mentioned that age because I feel so bad.
No, sorry.
It's an honor to have you, and I'm looking forward to hear more of your message. And thank you for saying yes.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. You can go ahead, Vela, and please introduce yourself.
Hi, everyone. I'm really happy to be here with you all today. My name is Vela. I'm currently based in the Netherlands. That's also where I'm originally from. And my passion and mission with my business is to really guide people on their inner and outer journeys. And I really focus on how you can use travel and living abroad for your personal and your professional growth. So that's something I'm very passionate about. I've lived in different countries myself, and I will share a bit more about that today as well. So yeah, thank you for having me.
Oh, wow. It's an honor to have you, Vela. And really, I'm looking forward to hear more of your message and how you really did what you've done so far, and how I can learn from you. It's an honor to have you on this platform. You can go ahead, Carissa, and please introduce yourself.
Hi, everyone. I'm so happy to be here. My name is Carissa, and it says I'm in France, which is very true. I'm kind of navigating the globe right now as a digital nomad, but I am originally from small town Saskatchewan in Canada, and I moved to Vancouver Island a few years ago, which I kind of now call home, or home base at least. I'm very excited to learn from everyone today, and I'm also excited to be here to share. I am a clinical counselor and somatic therapist, and really my journey has just come through my own healing, my own exploration of what does healing look like, and how can we connect to kind of those core roots, those core wounds of what is sometimes the subconscious patterning that's really running the show, and really bringing compassion and support to all parts of us to kind of bring this message home that you're not crazy. All parts of you make sense, and we can really work to transform, really living into this highest version of ourselves when we go in and really deeply understand and connect to. So I'm excited to share about that today and to learn from everyone here.
Oh, wow. Wow. It's an honor to have you, Carissa. And yes, all parts of what's happening within us, it makes sense. We are not crazy. And I'm looking forward to hear more of your message. And thank you for being with us today. You can go ahead, Jen, and please introduce yourself.
Hello. Thank you so much for having me, Dr. Real. It's such an honor to be here with all you ladies and just to be able to share our messages, because I believe every voice matters and we all have some great, incredible gifts to share through our journeys. I am an advocate for our stories is our offering. So we all have a story, and every single one of us, our missions are behind our story. So I am a spiritual recovery and trauma coach. I help women, mothers who have been impacted by a loved one's addiction. So a child's addiction, a spouse's addiction, a grandchild's addiction, it doesn't matter. They've been impacted by mental health and addiction. And helping them understand the traps of addiction and what is actually truly going on, that we are really just starting to begin to help people understand the dynamics behind what is actually happening. And from a spiritual perspective as well, to awaken to the truth of who we are, to really be able to reclaim our power, to heal the pain that is stemming underneath of it all. And as myself, my own journey has gotten me to this stage of my life where I'm now helping others, being impacted for over 20 years by my loved ones' addictions, being trapped and enmeshed in the cycles, being the contributing factor in many ways to those cycles, and recognizing through my own moment of really being cracked open to my truth and reclaiming my life, my health, my happiness, and recognizing how I can have impact and influence. And that's really what I help mothers, wives, women, families to be able to break the cycles and to bring awareness to really an epidemic, a crisis across the world. And I'm passionate about it. I want to shout it from the rooftops, and I'm happy to be here to share that message today.
Oh, wow. Wow. It's an honor to have you, Jen. Really, we need more advocates like you who will be like, you know what? I'm just going to hold you accountable for this. I'm going to like go with you step by step until you're fully recovered. We need more like you. Thank you for being with us. And I am really, really looking forward to hear more of your message.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, so in the interest of time, we're not going to go for the icebreaker question. We're going to get started because we just want to keep the time. So I'm flying all the way from Canada to Australian Queensland, where we have Pamela Milliken. Pamela Milliken Hartnell is a remarkable individual with a diverse and inspiring background. Pamela's life journey has been nothing short of extraordinary, marked by a series of accomplishments that showcase her unwavering determination and zest for life. So Pamela is a published author, an internationally recognized speaker, and a multiple award-winning mindset coach, all while holding a law degree. Her passion for personal growth led her to become a European wave ski surfing champion after just 12 months of learning to surf. Wow, 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 what an accomplishment. But Pamela's list of achievements, it doesn't stop there. With multiple qualifications under her belt, Pamela has a wide array of skills, from learning how to fly helicopters to scuba diving. Throughout her life, Pamela has been recognized for her outstanding achievements, winning business awards and receiving the prestigious Black Diamond Award for exceptional customer service, which is a testament to her dedication and excellence over 4 decades. In addition to her numerous accomplishments, Pamela has traveled the world extensively, gaining a wealth of experiences and insights that enrich her perspective. Her personal journey of overcoming adversity and transforming herself into the person she is today is a testament to her resilience and commitment to personal growth. Pamela's true passion lies in helping others change the quality of their thinking, enabling them to create lives filled with happiness, security, and pride. She empowers individuals to break free from self-imposed limitations and external validation, encouraging them to live authentically and on their terms. Kings and queens, please join me and welcome Pamela Milliken Hucknall.
Thank you, Dr. Reel, for having me. It's a pleasure to be here. That sounds crazy, doesn't it? I think I'm one of those people that was always looking to prove myself, because I grew up with adversity and poverty and abuse. And, you know, you can let that determine who you become and what you achieve and where you go in life, or you can let it defeat you, and so that you don't become anything. So my journey started as a young girl because of the trauma and the way that I grew up with the abuse. I spent most of my time in the library. And in the library, I found my solace of learning about human behavior. And I've always been really passionate about understanding people. And I was completely abandoned by my whole family at 15 when I came home to an empty house. And, you know, I'd been away at my first ever holiday. So you and Carissa and you both, all of you actually would understand that what you make of what happens around you determines where you then go, because the quality of your thinking determines the boundaries you set, and it determines the reality that you live in, which is why I love the statement that where you live emotionally is where you live physically. And I've always tried to grow from my experience and learn, and it doesn't mean to say that I don't get triggered. I think that is a brilliant place to start when you're looking to grow, that where you are triggered is where you still remain unhealed. And so when you look at it like that, you start looking for your triggers as an opportunity then to become more of who you can be, rather than just letting that trigger drive your behavior, define who you are, and you feel worthless and less. Now, there's a beautiful, and there's I was thinking about the amount of negative thoughts that we have every day. And most of you know that we have about 50 to 60,000 thoughts a day. And 90%, and there's different figures on the internet, but they're roughly around 90% of them are negative, and 80% of them are the same ones you had yesterday. I mean, just think about that as a statistic. It's like, it's insane. So you mean that I've only got 5% of new thinking today. So if you're stuck in this poor me, learned fears, learned helplessness situation, then it's going to be very, very difficult for you to be able to get past that and get out and be what you want to be. So as I say, most of my learning in the library was trying to understand human behavior and what it was meant by perception is projection, because I learned that at a very early age, that perception was projection, and that my reaction was an awareness of me. And I sat with that statement for such a long time, because the quality of your thinking, as I said earlier, determines where you live, the boundaries you set, and how far you allow yourself to go. So I was always then trying to understand, why did I react that way? Even if I couldn't do it in the moment, because it's not about being perfect. It's not about, being Miss Calm all the time. Seriously, I run around and I get triggered like everybody else, but I'm able now to, because of the tools and the way that I teach and through my books and everything, that you can stop. You can stop yourself from reacting. Even if you've already started, you can go, well, hang on a second, and you could bring awareness to your behavior. And I'm reacting right now. And I don't know if any of you that are listening out here understand tapping. And it's tapping on different points around the body. Each point has an emotional, each point has an organ and an emotion to it. So you've got sort of rage and anger at the side of your head, for instance, and guilt underneath your nose. And so each point relates to something. And it's probably over 40 years of learning different techniques in coaching. It's probably one of the most incredible things, along with EMDR, which is rapid eye movement, and creating balance between the left hemispheres and right hemispheres of the brain. The more you understand how your mind works, the more you're able to take control of the situations you're in. And that's what I'm saying. That's what I mean by, it doesn't matter if you react in the moment, so long as you become aware that you did react, and stop projecting your anger onto someone else and blaming someone else, and just go, hang on a second, I actually really overreacted to that. Now, what is that just showing me about me? Because that person is not powerful enough to make me feel whatever it is I'm feeling right now. So my response is a reflection of where I'm living emotionally. And I kind of hope that makes sense. I know I'm, actually just go like this if I'm talking too fast, because I always have so much to share and I just want to go verbal vomit. But so one of my biggest questions to everybody and the clients I work with is, how is your current thinking serving you? And can you look at the situation that you're in right now from a different perspective? And my genius is helping you identify your eternal self-talk so that you can understand that your response is just a reflection of what you think is going on. It's not necessarily what is actually happening. Because another statement that I used to like a lot, and it is the universe will never give you peace on something you weren't supposed to settle in. And like, if anyone, whoever's listening to this now, write that down. The universe will never give me peace on something I'm not supposed to settle in. And that's fantastic because it stops you thinking, poor me, why is this happening to me? So when you understand that life happens for you, not to you, you can start looking at everything as an education and everything as an opportunity to grow. And is that little clock up there for me, Dr. Reel? So I've got, oh, it is, okay, cool. So I have, how much longer? I've got 5 minutes, right? Okay. Oh, I thought I'm like, what am I going to say? Okay, cool. What else? We create our reality every single second of the day. So I want you to know that everything you're thinking, whether you're conscious of it or not, is creating something in your reality. So if you want to know where your thoughts are, look at your reality around you, because it's a direct reflection of how you feel. Which is why my first opening statement was, where you live physically is where you live emotionally. So something else I guess I would like to share is that you can only succeed and help others to the extent that you've healed yourself. And that's something I do as with my parenting programs. I help people identify where they're not healed so they can stop passing on their beliefs, their personal limitations to their children, so that they can help their children become who they're supposed to be, not who they are, from the shadows that they still are operating under, if that makes sense. So what else would I like to share? I can't remember. I had a whole bunch of notes I wanted to share. So that I guess I'd like to ask you, what have you been conditioned to believe? And something I share on my masterclasses that I give is, there was I'm looking at the clock now going, hurry up. It's the roast beef story, and I don't know if you've ever heard it, but it's fantastic. So, and it just goes to show how you come by your beliefs, because everything you're exposed to as a child, you believe whether it's truth or not. And so if you grew up in an environment like I did that was abusive and unhealthy, then unless you're aware of that and you do the work to understand what's going on with those people around you, and that is not about you, it's actually more, it shows you more about them than it does about you, you just start repeating that environment, and you create it in your own environment. And there's a beautiful roast beef story where a husband is looking at his wife and she's cooking the roast beef, and she cuts the end off and puts it in the oven, and he says, so why do you cut the end off that roast beef? She's like, I don't know, my mother did it. So a couple of weeks later, they're at the mother's house, and the mother's cooking roast beef, and she cuts the end off and she shoves it in the oven. And he's going, wait, I need to understand this. Your daughter cooked us roast beef a couple of weeks ago, and she cut the end off, and now you've just done the same thing. What is it with cutting the end off the beef? And the mother goes, I don't know, my mother did it. So now he goes, okay, now we need to ring Grandma and we need to find out. So they ring Grandma and say, Grandma, why do you cut the end off the roast beef? And Grandma said, well, in our day, we didn't have these fancy big ovens like you guys have got, so it wouldn't fit in that size. So we used to have to cut the end off and cook it separately. So there you go. So when you think like I'm doing something because like 3 generations ago did that, not because it's relevant to me, but because it was learned from 3 generations ago. So I kind of love that story as an indicator of what have we been conditioned to believe, and how often do you ever challenge what you believe? Do you just go with it and go, well, my mother used to do it, so I'm going to do it? And do you wonder whether it operates, whether it's relevant to you? And yeah, whether you can change it, I guess. So because it's never too late to become who you were meant to be. And yeah. So am I supposed to stop talking, or am I just supposed to keep talking, Dr. Reel? Because I feel like I could talk with a mouthful of marbles underwater.
Yes, you still have a few minutes. You
Okay.
can share. Yeah.
Okay, cool. I have got I've got a cycle of like negative outcomes that I would like to share with people, and that is, if you want, I'm a timeline therapist and hypnotherapist as well. So if you step back and look at your things that have happened, and I'm going to say for you, but most people think to you, but write down all the major events that have happened in your life, and look at how they've made you react to people and situations in the present moment. And bringing awareness to your behavior is probably one of the best things you can do, and the best places to start for starting your own journey of healing. And then look at your self-talk. Like, where do you go? I know when we were talking about computers before we just started there, I really do feel like a fish climbing a tree. And when I first started doing the Zoom thing, I lost people, and then I remember I lost all my notes because my the screen got taken over by the Zoom, and I was like having a flap attack, going, "Oh no, what am I going to say?" And I told myself I was stupid, and I felt stupid, and it wasn't stupid. It was just that I wasn't trained or learned in that. So our internal self-talk will show. It will show you where you live and what you feel, and then I'd like you to go back questioning that and ask yourself, is that really true? And if it was true a long time ago, is it still true now? Because we are not our behaviors. Our behaviors are what we do to get our unmet needs met. And so if you are reacting in a way that is not healthy, and you are blaming other people for where you find yourself, you are never going to grow, and you're never going to achieve much in life, because you're waiting for someone else to zoom in, make your life all happen for you, or you're waiting for their validation. And if you put your life in the hands of someone else, and I'm waiting for someone else to come home and tell me how beautiful I am, how intelligent I am, how funny I am, or whatever it is I need, and then they don't do that, what happens to me? So I think it's a really, I would like to say, dodgy place to put yourself in, to need that validation. So you need to look at the things that you can do better and work on them if you want to, and acknowledge the things you already do well, even if that's just being a good mother, a good friend, a good housekeeper. It doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be, I have 1,000,001 achievements because I was constantly trying to prove myself, to show that I was worthy, to show that I wasn't the worthless thing that my father used to say that I was, because he was a very violent man. And, coming home that day and finding the house empty, I knew I had a choice. Because I'd spent so much time in the library learning about people, I was also very fortunate enough to have a family that lived on the estate that I lived on, and I lived on one of the roughest estates in the UK. And there was they didn't, everyone there was either in prison, out of prison, or doing something. And I could have recreated that whole environment, and most people do. But I was determined that that was not going to be my life. And I was very fortunate. There was a family, an Irish family down the road, and they didn't have any money. They didn't have anything like we didn't. We lived on school meals and things like that. But they loved each other, whereas my family were very dysfunctional. And my father just used to was knocking everybody around. And so that started me thinking, well, hang on, if I'm this person that my father says I am, then why isn't that person treating me like it? Or why isn't that person treating me like it? And then when I was 15, I had a boyfriend who was it was like the opposite of the Billy Joel thing, uptown girl, downtown boy type of thing, but it was the other way around. So I was from the wrong side of the tracks. And I didn't get on with his parents very well at the start until I proved myself. So I guess the point I'm trying to make is, it doesn't matter where you come from or how you got there or what's happened to you. It's what you do now, and it's how you feel about yourself now, and it's how you treat the people around you. So I'd like just to kind of finish, I guess, with this statement that where you live emotionally is where you will live physically, which is where I started. And also to say that the universe will never give you peace in something you're not supposed to settle in. So if you've got stuff going on around you that is driving you crazy, that's like Groundhog Day, that just keeps coming and keeps coming, maybe there's a message in there that there is something that you need to learn so that you can grow into more of who you're supposed to be. Because I believe that we are all souls having a human experience, that we are here to grow through all these challenges, and we can't grow through anything if we're too busy blaming you, and it's your fault, and it's your fault, and it's your fault. And how is that ever going to help you grow? You know, you might feel better by going and dumping all my anger, my frustration. I might feel better for 5 or 10 minutes because now I've expressed how I feel. I've made it your problem. So now you can deal with it until the next time. And then I get triggered again. So remember I said earlier that things that trigger you or events or people or places, they are indicators for where you're living emotionally. They are indicators for your unhealed trauma, your unhealed challenges. And if you step back and you can look at those things from a point of, how can I grow from this, rather than why is this happening to me? It's a very different and more powerful place to be. You'll find that you will grow exponentially. You will stop finding everything as a poor me victim and stop living in victimhood and start taking each challenge by the horns and going, you know what, if that happened for me, if I needed this experience to grow somehow, how have I grown, or how can I grow now that I'm looking at it from a different perspective, rather than for me, keeping me in a victim. I'm never going to grow that way. I'm going to stay little. So that's kind of, I guess, what I'd like to share.
Wow, Pamela just dropped the mic. Like, I love the way you've mentioned that, life happens for you, not to you. And you've mentioned that the quality of your thinking, it kind of determines where you are and where you live. Where you live emotionally is where you live physically. Wow, what a mindset shift in this. Honestly, I can truly say that, yes, now your true passion really lies in helping others to change the quality of their thinking, because you've just helped us within that short period being given to you, but you've just nailed it. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Pamela, for sharing such a profound, much needed message. Yes, you've also encouraged us to break free from those self-imposed limitations. And kings and queens, please go out there and reach out to Pamela. So if you want to learn on what Pamela is doing, her work, you can visit her website at www.pamelamillican.com. So her first name, her last name.com. Thank you so much, Pamela. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
So from Queensland, Australia to the Netherlands, where we have Vella Bilen. Vella Bilen da Costa David is a certified travel coach and a life coach. After a successful career as an immigration lawyer, she transitioned to coaching, healing, and meditation. Vella supports her clients on their inner and outer journeys, helping them create their ideal lifestyle and find belonging, connection, as well as a purpose. She empowers people to use travel and living abroad as tools for personal and professional growth. So in addition to that, to her coaching programs, she also organizes online events and workshops for companies with expatriate employees. So kings and queens, please join me and welcome Vella Bilen.
Thank you so much for this opportunity. I'm very excited to share my story with you today and hopefully inspire you a little bit about how you can use travel for your personal and professional growth. So I would like to take you on a little journey to start with. And that started for me 3 years ago when I was living in Australia. And I was working there as an immigration lawyer. And I was really having the best time of my life. I had great friends there. I loved where I was living. I met my now husband there, and everything just seemed to be perfect. I really felt at home there. And then suddenly the pandemic happened. And within 2 weeks, I lost my job and visa and had to pack my bags and leave. And I was in complete shock. And in the beginning, I had no idea where to go, but I decided to move to the Netherlands, the country where I was born and raised. And that move turned out to be the hardest move of my life so far. And I had moved to different countries before Australia as well. I had lived in Spain and Cambodia before and had traveled to many countries. But moving back to the Netherlands, the country that I was most familiar with, just felt like the biggest adjustment ever. I was dealing with reverse culture shock. And most of all, I had no idea what my direction in life would be. This was the first time in my life that I was like, I don't know what to do next. I have no job. I'm stuck in lockdown. What am I going to do? And I really started to get into this negative loop of thoughts and really had sort of a self-pity party for a couple of months and really wondering, okay, what am I going to do? And I felt like I was just wasting my time after having had such a successful career and now just doing nothing at all. And at a certain moment, I just grabbed my journal and I started writing. And in the beginning, I didn't even know what to write, but I just started writing and the words started flowing on the paper. And that's how I slowly started to find my inner strength back. And that's when I realized, okay, I have to take back control over my life, because whatever happens, eventually it's up to us to make a choice and to decide if we want to make a change or if we stay stuck in that situation. So that's when I slowly started to think about and asking myself those questions like, what do I want in my life? What is my purpose? Where do I want to move to? Where do I feel at home? What does it even mean to feel at home? All those questions, I really started to dive deep into my own journey of self-discovery. And at a certain moment, I realized that home that I had been searching for in different places around the world eventually started with finding home within myself. And after that realization, things really started to shift for me. When I could find that home within myself, I also, after a while, I found the spark to start a business, something I had been dreaming about for years, but never really had the courage to take the step. And that's when I came across a certification program to become a travel coach. And something clicked in me, and it really felt like my passion for travel, but also my personal experiences of moving countries and the challenges that come with it. Everything came together, and I really felt like I could make this my mission to help other people also on their journeys, and not just moving places and helping them with their moves abroad and with their travels, but also with that inner journey, because eventually that's also such an important part of it. You cannot just, what Pamela also mentioned before, like not just physically being somewhere, but also emotionally. So bringing that all together. And I wanted to share that part of my journey first to really show you that whatever happens in life, we can make a choice and we can decide to do something differently. And it's really about how we handle the changes that define who we are. And that's also the topic I want to share more about. Like, how can you embrace those changes in your life? And especially when it comes to travel and living abroad, what I'm very passionate about, how can you embrace those changes and use them for your personal and professional growth? And when a big life change happens, for example, what I just shared about me, like moving countries, losing my job, changing career, it really helps you to adapt to situations and eventually build your resilience and really step out of your comfort zone and really find solutions, creative solutions that you had never thought about. So it's really about overcoming those challenges to unlock your journey of self-discovery and to really allowing yourself to explore what else is out there instead of staying stuck in a familiar bubble that you maybe were used to. And asking yourself those questions of, what do I want to get out of my life? And if you think about it, how often do we ask ourselves those questions? How often do we actually sit down and wonder, okay, am I still on track? Do I want something else in my life? Am I the person that I want to be, or do I want to become someone else, or at least, improve myself? And it's really about taking control back over your life. And that was at least how I experienced it as well. And when I started doing that, I realized, okay, no one is going to save me. I have to save myself. I have to take back control over my life. And I'm the one who's going to decide the direction of my life. And I don't have to ask anyone for their opinion or their permission. It's really up to me to decide what I want. And it's really like you're turning a page of your book, like the book of your life. And you turn the page and you have this blank chapter in front of you. And on the one hand, that can be very scary and overwhelming. But on the other hand, it's also exciting because it means that you have limitless possibilities and that you can really write that new chapter for yourself. So one of the practical strategies that I often use with my clients when they come to me and they are like, okay, I really want a change in my life, but I don't really know what I want. Maybe I want to travel, maybe I want to move somewhere else, maybe I want a career change. Where do I even start? I have this exercise that I often use that one of my mentors taught me, and it's very simple. You basically write down everything you want to experience in your life. So it's sort of a brain dump. You just free flow and write down whatever comes up. It can be any type of experience. And after that, you write down how you would like to grow or what you would like to learn in your life. And this can also be anything at all, whatever comes up. And afterwards, the last part is writing down how you would like to contribute to the people around you, to your local community, for example, or to the world in general. And once you put down those different categories, you will notice a pattern, and you're often surprised about what you may find. Maybe it's a passion that you hadn't thought about for years, and suddenly you see it on the paper and it reminds you of that passion or that hobby that you used to have, and you actually decide to give it a try again. Or you decide to travel to this special place that you always wanted to travel to, but you never gave yourself the chance. And this is often what I notice when I talk to people as well. When I share about my journey of living in different countries, they tell me, oh, I wish I could do that. And then I ask them, like, okay, but what is holding you back? And often it's fears or excuses that we put on ourselves. And we are often our biggest inner critic, and we put those limiting beliefs on ourselves to just don't take our dreams seriously. And often when we actually start to take action and take the first small step towards that dream, we realize that it's not that complicated, but we often make it so big in our minds that we don't even give ourselves the chance to take that first step and to make it happen. So another thing, the second part that I would like to share a little bit more about is how you can use your travels for your personal and professional growth. So one of the things that happens when you travel is that everything around you changes. And that's actually a good thing because it trains you to adapt quickly and to be creative in finding solutions and figuring things out. For example, when you travel somewhere, you have to figure out the public transportation system, or finding your way in a different language, or having a conversation with a stranger and just going through that discomfort. And all those little moments actually help you to build your resilience and your confidence. And that's, I think, one of the biggest assets of travel that we often don't think about when we just book our vacation and, want to escape from our daily life. And what I like to do is encourage people to really be more intentional about how they travel and really think about, okay, what is the outcome that I would like to have of this trip? Is it just to recharge? And of course, there's nothing wrong with that. But you can also use travel to, for example, heal from a certain event that happened in your life, or to get clarity on the next steps of what you would like to do in your life. And the beauty of travel is that you step out of your normal environment and you get triggered by everything that happens around you, but you also open up your mind by those new senses and new smells and the new environment, everything you experience. And because of those new experiences, you really immerse yourself, and that's how you become more present. So it's also a practice of mindfulness in a way. And by becoming so present in the moment, you open up and you can connect more with your intuition, and you get new insights and inspiration for your next steps. And I often see this with people who are stuck in their life. I just tell them, why don't you just go on a trip? It doesn't have to be a move across the world like I did, but just get out of your, usual bubble and step out of that comfort zone and inspire yourself with new experiences. And that can make such a shift. And besides that, if you think about professional growth, having that international experience can really boost your career as well. So whether it's learning a new language like I did, or just working in an international team, or having that experience of intercultural communication, all of those skills can really boost your resume and help you stand out from other people. But also if you, for example, are thinking about moving abroad, or you want to work remotely, thinking about the skills that you already have and how you can use those in an international environment, it can really help you to be more open-minded and see what is possible for you. So those are a few of the things that I like to share about how you can use travel for your career as well. And especially when you plan to spend some more time in another country and really dive into that international experience, that can really make a difference. Another thing that I think that travel really can help you with is this feeling of gratitude. Because you really immerse yourself in the moment and you surround yourself with new, beautiful experiences, especially when you, for example, spend time in nature, you can really experience that feeling of awe and really feeling blessed by whatever you experience at that moment. And if you can take that feeling of gratitude that you feel in that moment with you in your daily life, you can also cultivate that feeling more often when you are just, at home and don't have those like exciting travel experiences anymore. So there are like different ways to look at travel, and I always hope to inspire people to have like a fresh perspective of how they can include travel into their life beyond just escaping from their daily routine, just booking a vacation, and then after a week of relaxation you go back to your job and it's the same thing. After one day of work you forget about the whole experience and you're like, oh, I wish I could have another vacation. But really thinking about how can you use travel in a way that it really boosts your personal growth. And I think that's the beauty of it, like having the opportunity to see different places, to become more open-minded as well, to experience different cultures, to connect with other people, and to really broaden your horizons. For me, that has really been transformative in my life. And it has really helped me to have the courage to do new things as well, to eventually start my business, to overcome challenges, and to really think about what would I like to do in my life. And I think that's the main part that I wanted to share. So I think I'm going to leave it with that. What I would like to end with is that it's really this combination of your inner journey and your outer journey that is so powerful. Because as I said in the beginning, you can physically move somewhere or travel somewhere, but you also take yourself with you wherever you go. And if you focus on that part of that, like that inner journey, or what I said in the beginning, that finding that home within yourself, wherever you go, knowing that you have yourself, that you have your own back, that you take yourself with you, it's so powerful, and it just improves your life, your travels, your career, wherever you go. And knowing that wherever you go, you have your own support, that you are your own support system, that's such a powerful place to be in, and it can really make a big difference. So yes, thank you for listening. And yeah.
Wow, Viola. Oh my goodness. You've shared all the nuggets that someone will really want to hear about personal and professional growth through travel and living abroad. I just love the way you've just ended that. You decided, you know what, you found home within yourself, because your outer life and your outer and your inner life goes with you everywhere that you go, right? Thank you so much. Like I was just writing down every nugget that you were just dropping. You've mentioned that in order for you, the way you are coaching your clients, and then you start by telling them that write down everything that you want to experience in your life. And then after all the experiences that you want in your life, then write down about what you want to contribute to the world around you. Because I believe that, if you follow your passion, whatsoever you are doing, it will impact others. That's exactly what you are saying right now. You'll have to impact each and every soul that you come across. I just love the way that you mentioned the power of embracing change in order for you it boosts your resilience, and it also boosts your self-discovery, and how travel really and living abroad has enhanced your skills, like switching from those careers, starting something that is really new, but you're still living it. You're still impacting many lives out there. And we are truly witnesses that it can really, really impact your life, traveling and accepting the environment that you are in, and just live through it. Just live through it. Thank you so much, Viola, for sharing your personal story of moving countries, switching careers, and finding home within yourself. It's a privilege to hear from you. So thank you so much. Thank you. So now from the Netherlands, I was going to say we're going to Saskatchewan, but no, we're going to France, where we have Carissa Brockman. Carissa Brockman is a clinical counselor, somatic therapist, yoga instructor, speaker, upcoming author, and a lifelong learner. Through her own healing journey, she has discovered firsthand the power of encountering all parts of self with radical acceptance and compassion, and has made it her mission to support others to come to know the inherent wisdom and healing capacity that exists within each and every one of us. So kings and queens, please join me and welcome Carissa Brockman.
Thank you so much. This has been so beautiful to be part of already. I've resonated so much. I am currently in France, but from Saskatchewan, like you mentioned, and Vancouver Island, and I've been living the digital nomad life. And so I really relate to what was just shared about travel and that experience. We've been house sitting around, my partner and I think 18 homes in the last 12 months. And so it really does, wherever I go, there I am. And in many ways, that's beautiful and empowering. And in other ways, it really invites a lot of awareness of what I bring with me and what I have opportunity to face and heal. And Pamela, I also the triggers being kind of those indicators that here's space where healing can happen. I love that, and I'm going to talk about those things too. So my personal story was I was doing my master's in counseling psychology, really in the world of talk therapy, and meanwhile in a very abusive relationship. And I wasn't aware of that. Interestingly, it was actually no peer-reviewed resource that I read or lecture that I heard that brought my awareness to what I was living. It was a coworker's story of her experience in a previous abusive marriage that really opened my eyes. And so now I really do resonate with the power of story. I think that by sharing our story, we can really feel witnessed and help others feel witnessed as well, because that was what really helped shift the trajectory for me to get out. And as we'll kind of talk our way through this, I really came to understand a lot of the parts of me that were subconsciously running the show as to why I was not only in an abusive relationship, but fighting really hard to stay. So my healing journey began by moving back to my parents' place and just kind of crawling onto my yoga mat and learning how to breathe again really was where I started. And in that just practice of finding safety in my body, in my system, I was starting to discover that I would do a hip opener or a heart opener and I would start crying, or I would feel this rage, and I was really fascinated about what is happening in me, that, I'm just doing this gentle yoga with Adriene video on YouTube, and suddenly I'm having all this emotion come out because my body's moving in this certain way. And so that really is what shifted me towards this world of somatic therapy and exploring this idea that somatic being like the soma, the body, this mind-body connection, and that our experiences and emotions are really stored in our soma, in our body, and to start getting curious too about the nervous system and how that impacts our lived experience. And I was really in a state of complete and total nervous system dysregulation. I was again, just the energy I had was simply to take a breath, and so that kind of really is what pushed me towards that and where a lot of my healing came. And so I want to share a little bit about the nervous system and what I now teach about and what I've really learned and to embody in my own healing journey, as well as this idea of these other parts of us, all these parts of us that make up our experience and that inform how we move through life. So the nervous system, what I've really learned is it's wired for survival, and we all have a nervous system wired for survival, and that's a really beautiful thing. Humans would have gone extinct a long time ago if we didn't have that fight-flight response. But it's wired in a way that was really meant for times when we were running away from a tiger. Like, it really hasn't evolved to the current state of being, and so the response is still to have this extreme activation of the tension in the body, the heart rate increasing, the vision narrowing. We get our prefrontal cortex of our brain, that part that it likes to respond and be calm and rational and connect, goes totally offline, and we go just straight into the amygdala, and we're in our reaction zone, and we get cortisol and adrenaline. And so this energy that gets activated in the system is really powerful because it's meant to help us run away or fight off the danger. But what it's like, I see in a car, if you hit the accelerator, you just rev it up really hard. But many, many times in our life, the threat that's present isn't something that we can actually fight off or run away from. And this is especially true when we're children. There's very, very, very little in our experience as a child that we have the capacity to use that energy to make a difference. of what's going on around us or what's going on to us. And so that's why our nervous system has another response, and that's the freeze response. And that's kind of like we've revved everything up. And then the freeze, when we're not able to use that energy to come back to safety, the freeze kicks in. It's like hitting the brakes. And that's when we can dissociate. And that's really important because there are experiences we move through in life that we really want to dissociate from. We don't want to have to really live in that experience. But that energy that got charged didn't get to resolve, it didn't get to release. And so it gets frozen in time and stored, and our body is where it gets held. And our body says, it's okay, I know you can't go through it right now, but I'm here to hold it for you and I'm going to store it. In time, though, the more of those experiences that we haven't been able to resolve builds up until it's like we're walking around with like a pressure cooker that's just ready to blow. And so this world of somatic therapy is about coming in to understand how can we safely support releasing some of that pressure that's built up. Because when we have this built up of energy, it's telling our system there's trauma energy in my body essentially, and therefore the nervous system is saying there must be danger around me. So now I'm living in a state where I'm totally hypervigilant, looking around at all times. I'm in a reactive zone because all I know is I'm responding to an activated nervous system. Trauma is also, I love Gabor Mate's quote, it's not what happened to you, it's what happened inside you as a result of what happened to you. And that is just such a powerful and profound paradigm shift. And because if it's what happened to me, I'm helpless to change it, right? There's nothing I can do about it. Then why do we even have therapists in the world? Because we can't change what happened. Why bother going in and talking about it? I can't change it. But if I understand that it's actually what happened to me, meaning, what did this make me believe about myself? What did I feel? How did this, what did I internalize about relationships or others or the world around me or my role in it? Then, okay, now there's space that we can go in and interact with and also support transforming that. And so when we think of, okay, so if I have a built up pressure cooker, what is it holding and what is it storing? It's holding all of those deeply held feelings and beliefs that each of those experiences we moved through built up inside of us. And so, like you mentioned about the triggers, right? When we get triggered, something in our environment has tapped into a really painfully held feeling, belief, or experience that's still holding that charged energy, which is why when we get triggered, we have this experience, it's as if we're there because that energy is frozen in time. It doesn't actually know that we're not there anymore. And so a lot of the working with the nervous system, a lot of working with this realm of inner child healing, internal family systems, is to really get into the source of where is it stored, how is it frozen, and can we support a connection between my current adult self and that part of me that experienced what I went through and help resolve, release, heal, and bring that part into the present moment with me. Because there's a really powerful element of talk therapy. I'm certainly not here to in any way discount the powerful element of talk therapy because we need to talk, we need to be heard, we need to be validated, we need to process. And what can happen is that my adult awareness now that has this new understanding of what I've been through thinks, well, because I understand it, I shouldn't still be triggered. Because I understand it, I shouldn't still feel it. Because I understand, or even maybe I understand now looking back, okay, my parents were doing the best with what they had at that time because of what they'd been through, right? That's a lot of, we get to that point a lot of times where we go, oh, okay, they were doing, and my young self at that time didn't know that. And that lack of capacity based on their own experiences, their own pain, their own trauma impacted me. It made me believe these things about myself. It took away my sense of safety, or it caused me to feel like I needed to show up in these ways in the world in order to get what I felt and needed. And so it's what I've experienced in this world of somatic therapy and inner child healing is that we're really helping connect the dots. We're really helping bring this new adult awareness to that young part to come and understand, okay, so even though I can understand from this perspective now, what did young me live? What did that make me feel and believe about myself? And how did I learn at that time that I had to move through the world? And so if for an example, if there was chaos around me and one time I tried to scream back and I had hell to pay, then I learned that safety means being quiet, being not seen and not heard. And I internalized that. And that was really adaptive. That was a really important lesson to learn at that time, because that's what helped me navigate through my environment safely. But that part that's still holding that energy, now we're stepping into the world where like, I really want to be a speaker, and I really want to go out there, and I want to have my voice be heard, or I want to speak up in my relationships. I want to assert myself. I want to be able to not just people please. There's this young part of us that says, shh, don't say anything. Don't let yourself be heard or seen, and we get mad at it. We go, it's really holding me back. Why can't I just do these things I want to do? And so when we go and we connect to these young parts, we recognize, oh, of course, that's still a 7-year-old that doesn't know that I'm not in that environment that was really threatening to me. That's still a part that learned to protect around something that used to get me in big trouble. And it's trying to stop me from doing it now because it thinks that's going to happen. And so we take this in every million of examples of our life. It's the same reason why we'll end up finding ourselves in patterns in relationship where, and this is my experience, right? There's deeply held feelings and beliefs about myself of what does it mean to be loved? What does it mean to be worthy, to be chosen, to be all of these different types of things? Who represents the person that I need, that I feel like I need to be chosen by? What is that giving to these parts of me? And so when we go into working with these parts, we can help release and resolve and bring those parts into the present. So when we're living in this state of kind of nervous system dysregulation, when we have all that built up energy, we might experience that we're stressed, overwhelmed, reactive. We have anger, rage, poor digestion, hypervigilant, poor concentration, feel out of control. That might be a more familiar state to us than calm, connected, present, blissful, relaxed, ease. And then in that collapse, in that freeze zone, we might experience that we're depressed, numb, again, poor digestion, shut down, disconnected, no energy, lethargic. And the interesting piece with poor digestion is because we have fight, flight, and then we have rest, digest. And so if we're stuck in fight, flight, we're not getting to rest and we're not getting to digest. The more experiences we have, the more we actually squish what we call our window of tolerance, which is that happy green zone where we feel really good and peaceful and connected and at ease. And so when we can use somatic-based practices or any mindfulness-based practice that can support bringing safety back into our system, bringing safety back into the present moment, we're actually rewiring and bringing more pathways and neural activation into the prefrontal cortex, which is what we want to be able to respond, to be able to process, to be able to focus. And so all of those activities, whether it's breath work where you're exhaling longer than you're inhaling, or maybe you're just doing some mindful eating, or you're doing any gentle based meditation practice that every time your mind wanders away, you bring it back to the present moment. It wanders away, you bring it back to the present moment. Present moment awareness is letting your nervous system know it's okay to be here. We're safe. It's okay. We're not there anymore. That thing's not happening anymore. Right here, it's okay. We're safe. And we just keep bringing it back. That increases our capacity for all of those ways we want to experience life and helps release some of that built up pressure in our system. And so without going wildly into the brain, because it is the most complex structure in the known universe, which is quite incredible, we have neuroception, which is this ability to pick up with our nerves are picking up about 11 million pieces of information per second, which is wild. And then about 40 of those are actually making it through the filters, and only 7 are being held in our working memory. So if we think that what is filtering all this information that's coming through me, it's the experiences, the beliefs, and the energy that's being held in my system. And so now it's only bringing to my awareness that which filters through what I believe, what I feel, what I've been through. And so when we do this healing work, it actually shifts and changes. Oh, if I'm not holding that anymore, I don't need to bring that into my awareness. Now suddenly I'm bringing other things into my awareness. My perception changes, therefore my entire reality changes. And the more that we do this work and the more that we connect to all of these parts of ourselves and understand what they came on to hold and why we had to move through the world that way, we learn what Richard Schwartz, who's the founder of Internal Family Systems, says, is that there's actually no bad parts of us. all parts of us make sense. And that's why if I had a billboard, my message would be, you are not crazy, because we do, when we're in this wired up nervous system, we feel crazy when we have parts of us acting in ways that are no longer adaptive, that are getting in our way. It's like, why am I dealing with this? Oh, it makes sense. Oh, all parts of me make sense. Oh, there's so much room for compassion here. So that's my message. That's been my own healing journey, that I'm still walking the path of encountering all my parts as I go. And that's what I was excited to share and offer here today. So thank you so much.
Oh, wow, Carissa, thank you so much for, sharing such a profound, like, I felt like I'm just going back to school right now, learning about this nervous system, like you've just went bit by bit and you just made us understand that, when we have this built up in our system, it's telling our body that, there is trauma in that body. So you'll have to take care of it. And we are not crazy. We are not crazy. All parts of our system, they just communicate. They just work together to help this body that we live in. And you've also shared about the inner child healing, because you'll have to understand that where you are right now, where are you coming from? Have you healed from the past? And healing wisdom of the body. Like, you've shared so many nuggets. I was just taking notes. And you know what? I'm going to go back and watch the replay over and over again, because this is worth listening. This is just, I'm going to listen over it until, like, I don't think I will get tired. So thank you so much, Carissa, for sharing such a profound, much needed message. Thank you.
Thank you.
So from France, we are coming back to Canada. We're going to Ontario, where we have Jen McCutcheon. I forgot to ask how to pronounce your last name. Jen, did I butcher your last name?
You did amazing. You did amazing. Yes, Jen McCutcheon. You nailed it.
McCutcheon. Okay. So Jen is a spiritual recovery and trauma coach, best-selling author of A Bigger Mission, co-creator of the Finding Balance documentary, leading age healer, CEO, speaker, and a devoted mother of 2 remarkable children. Dedicated to assisting mothers whose children struggle with addiction, Jen empowers them to reclaim control over their lives from the grips of addiction, restore their health, and rediscover their identities amid the turmoil affecting their children's recovery paths. So, drawing from her own personal experience as a mother to a child battling addiction, and having been married to 2 individuals with substance abuse disorders, Jen understands the profound anxiety, helplessness, fear, and distress that families endure. She knows what it takes to dismantle the destructive patterns of addiction and liberate oneself from its clutches. Jen's mission is to cultivate a nurturing space where mothers can find comfort, resilience, and the necessary tools and knowledge to break harmful cycles and promote healing, thus supporting recovery for the entire family. So I encourage you to work with Jen to heal, thrive, and shine your light into the darkness, breaking the cycle that affects your child's recovery journey. So kings and queens, please join me and welcome Jen McCutcheon.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, it's such an honor to be here. And I just have to say, each and every one of you ladies who have spoken have just, everything has resonated. And, my motto is, when we heal ourselves, we heal others. And in sharing our stories of healing and overcoming, we inspire and actually give others permission to begin to explore those areas within themselves that need healing. And the power of our voice and the power of our story, vulnerably sharing, impacts and influences others in finding their way back home. And, my journey, and I'll start there with, my journey began 20 some odd years ago when my first husband began to have struggles with mental health issues, which led to addiction issues. And as a young mid-20s woman, I had never experienced mental health or addiction issues. So I really was really, it was like somebody flipped a switch and my whole life changed. And I had 2 young babies under the age of 2. and my whole world was turned upside down. And my beliefs around marriage and family was, you stick this out, you love until death do us part, in sickness and in health. And that was what I knew. That was my belief. That's what I did. And on that journey, I realized very quickly, with coming into major depression and anxiety, and living in an abusive relationship, that I had to make a different choice for myself and my children. And I removed myself from the marriage, and I began a healing journey. And I was raising my children as a single mom, trying to make ends meet, working 3 jobs. Thank goodness I had support of my family, my parents, that, really supported me and my children. And I remarried, and I found a new level of safety and security in a new relationship and a blended family. And as I, journeyed through that, my children, my new relationship, very soon into that marriage, my second husband began struggling with alcoholism. And at age 15, my son began his journey with addiction. And I was living in a environment of a lot of trauma, and I didn't know that then. So this is my message, and this is really how we as individuals, through awareness, can begin to help ourselves and our family and our friends who are struggling with mental health and addiction. Because I didn't understand what was going on in my life. I just thought I was like in the midst of unfortunate events. And now what I know to be true is I created this reality through the power of my thought, through the power of my mind, which was a subconscious belief system, a subconscious identity, that where I had disconnected from myself for many, many years, from a long time before, from my childhood years, where I had traumatic events that I didn't even know I had, because I didn't even know what trauma was. So this is all about awareness. This is all about coming to ask those questions, to explore in that childhood wonder. And often we have a hard time exploring that childhood wonder because of the childhood experiences of trauma that has disconnected us from ourselves. So, the interesting thing about this is, while I was really surrounded by addiction for many years and trauma, it wasn't until my son's journey really brought me to my knees as a mother. 1 in 5 people struggle with mental health and addiction issues. These numbers are only on the rise, including suicidal ideation. And what we have to recognize, and what I am on a mission to bring awareness to, is that 1 in 5 people are struggling with mental health issues. And the ripple effect is affecting many: family, friends, coworkers, neighbors. We are all affected. If you don't have somebody close to you affected, you're going to know somebody that is. And again, these numbers are on the rise. So the more we can bring awareness to what is actually going on here, to empower people to take responsibility for their role, their reactions, their responses, and be able to actually have tools to support themselves and their loved ones, so that we're not contributing to the cycles at play. My suffering really began when I identified myself as a mother who had my role, my responsibility was to nurture, provide, and protect my child. And when you're in the battle of addiction and the cycles of addiction, and you find yourself where you have done everything to the point where you have nothing left to give, where it becomes destructive, my mental health, physical health, emotional health was depleted to a point of dangerous levels. And it wasn't for a lack of trying, and I couldn't fix it. And it triggered every inside critical negative thought I had ever thought about myself, and validated it was true. I wasn't enough. I wasn't smart enough. I wasn't a good enough mom. I'm a failure. And those belief systems was what caught me and many mothers on my journey in the traps of enabling and codependency. The moment we assign something or someone outside of ourselves as our source of joy, we instantaneously assign them as our source of suffering. I attached to not my son's recovery to be the only way that I could be okay. And as long as he wasn't okay, I couldn't be okay. And this was the catalyst that brought me into the depths of darkness to be able to hit my own rock bottom, recognizing that I had become addicted to my child and my partner. And trying to fix them and feeling powerless to only brought me deeper into really believing I was worthless. I was useless. I couldn't do anything right. And I laugh because now it's like, it's not a laughter, it's an awakening. It is an expansion of understanding and wanting desperately to help other people going through this and trapped, unable to see this in the darkness. They're not able to, I couldn't see that I was trapped and enmeshed in these cycles. All I could see was utter destruction. Wanting desperately to help a child who was knocking on death's door every day, and I was spiraling down with him. And when I finally hit my rock bottom and I finally started to recognize that I was part of the cycle, I was part of the destruction because I was contributing to the cycles through my enabling, through my codependency. And then taking it a step further, that my trauma was, so the addiction was a catalyst to help me to see where I needed to be healed. That my trauma had outpictured and created the existence and the reality in which I lived. And the only way for me to find my way back and truly help or have influence in my child finding recovery was to do my own work, was to begin my own recovery. And on that healing journey, I found many different modalities of healing, breath work, meditation, many different lineages of yoga, shamanism, spiritual psychology, recovering and repatterning the science of the mind. So reprogramming our subconscious mind to get into the deep grooves of these commands that show up in our subconscious mind and we don't even know they're there, which are basically controlling us like puppet strings in every decision that we make. So being able to work with women who are in the desperation of finding a way to help their children and help them realize the best way that they can help their children or their family members that are impacted by addiction is by helping themselves, is by healing their own pain, is to going and sitting with that inner child, that little girl within them, to recognize and to acknowledge where that little girl, was. Again, like Gabor Mate says, trauma isn't just what happens to you, it's what happens within you or what didn't happen to you. So we have to come back to this place of compassionate inquiry, conscious inquiry, where we recognize that the way in which we're moving, the identity in which we are identifying with, there's a gap. There's a gap between who we are and who we've always been. There's a subconscious false identity and a true identity, and we're disconnected. So by working on ourselves, we bridge this gap and we bring this uniting, this force of coming back to the oneness of who we are. And in doing that, we're able to really, truly connect with our loved one, because we've healed our own trauma. We've looked into the depths of our darkness and learned to love all aspects of who we are. Addiction is a catalyst. Addiction is a symptom of deep-rooted pain. Addiction is a understanding that there is a disconnect from who you truly are, and living in a false sense of who you are creates even more suffering. So as a mother, when we are able to work on ourselves, to heal our own pain, to be able to sit with ourselves, to bring balance back to our central nervous system, to be able to reprogram our mind to empowered thoughts that are actually going to serve our highest good, we're going to be able to be in a place where we can be a living example of self-love, a living example of boundary setting, a living example to help our children to shine light into their darkness. And in doing so, we can sit with their pain without being triggered. And even if we are triggered, we can find the treasure in the trigger, because anytime that we're triggered, there is a deep-rooted pain that still needs to be healed. And from this place of awareness, from this place of love and acceptance of our own pain, we're able to see the world through a new lens, no longer distorted by these false senses of self, by trauma, by cultural and societal programming and conditioning that is part of the trauma process, as part of the trauma response. So I work with women and their families and the ripple effect. And I always say, you know, recovery is like a rose for our children, our loved ones, and ourselves. You can't force a rose to bloom. You cannot force a rose to bloom. It will only bloom when it's ready. So by doing our own work, we are reclaiming power over our own lives. We are healing our mind, body, and soul. We are reconnecting to our true authentic self. And in doing so, the energetics is the ripple effect that has impact and influence on your loved one. And it is their choice, just like it's our choice to choose to change. It's their choice when they are ready, when they're ready to bloom, and nobody knows when that is. And I have no power or control over it. I can hold them in unconditional love, completely accepting them where they are in sobriety or not, loving myself exactly where I am. Our inner peace is found in accepting what is, in letting go and wishing it was different, and bravely and courageously moving forward in healing and recovery. So in learning some tools, I mean, tapping is something that I work with my clients with. Again, we hold trauma in our bodies. We can work through the talk therapy. We can really have impact by releasing the thoughts and working our way through it from a legit logical mind perspective, but holding the trauma within our body and learning tools to release it is a way that we can really tap in to the truth of who we are, to really release these stuck energies. So there's a method that I use called the ICAN emotion regulation treatment. And it's basically identifying. The first step is to identify that you are experiencing overwhelm, crisis, emotional dysregulation. Without awareness and mindfulness of this, we are stuck in the subconscious mind feeling powerless. But I'm here to tell you, you are powerful every single minute of the day, every second, every breath. You are in control of your life. The second is the C, which is connect. We want to connect the dots. Bring awareness to what are the emotions that you're feeling? Where are you feeling it in your body? Maybe placing your hand on that area, whether it's your belly or your heart or your throat, just bringing awareness and breathing love into those areas. Recognizing what thoughts are actually being triggered. What are the thoughts in the mind? And then you're going to move on to A, which is to allow yourself to be present with all of it from a place of compassion and love and safety, knowing that you can handle anything that comes your way. And through awareness comes acceptance. And the final piece of this is N, which is to neutralize. Breath is the most powerful resource you have. It's free and it's with you every day, and it will directly connect you to your higher self, to the truth of who you are, where you can move forward bravely, courageously, and in your power to be the best version of you and to shine that light, that radiant light into the world to support your loved one. So, just to wrap up, the most important thing here is to recognize that everybody's voice matters in the family dynamics of addiction. We all have experienced different things, different perspectives, and different viewpoints, and we all have a place in the recovery journey. And we can only really take ownership and responsibility for ourselves. So recognizing that our role is either impacting and influencing, or it is disempowering ourselves and our loved ones. So taking back control by taking back control of your life is the first step. Thank you.
Wow, Jenny. Yes, take control of your life. You've mentioned that, you know what, we need to work within ourselves first to be able to help our loved ones. If we are not helping ourselves, we're not going to be able to help whosoever is struggling, because we haven't even tried to figure out, are we okay? Like, are you really doing well? Are you okay yourself? You'll have to heal from your own pain first to be able to help that individual. I like your methodology, the ICAN. You'll have to identify first and then connect the dots and then allow yourself to be in the present. After that, you've mentioned all these breath exercises. So you'll have to neutralize whatsoever is happening to you, because with all the exercises, they are free, and the breath that we have, it always goes with us everywhere that we go. And you've mentioned that trauma is not what happens to you, but it's what happens in you. And you've drawn from your own personal experience as a mother raising that son with who was struggling with substance use disorders, and then from that partner. So the list goes on and on. And then you were like, you know what? It's high time you become that advocate. It's high time you empower other parents, other individuals to reclaim control of their lives. Thank you so much, Jenny, for sharing such a profound, much needed message. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Wow, what a like we have a powerhouse here. I can see our audience online. Really, in the interest of time, I'm not going to be able to read all the comments, but I can see all the love that they give to us, all the motivation that they got from all of you amazing speakers. So to our audience online, please feel free. And by the way, you can reach out to Jenny on her website, www.enablenomore.ca. So reach out to Jenny and find your path to recovery through every service that she offers. And to our audience online, please, if you happen to have any questions to any of the speakers today, please just drop a message, and then we're going to be able to attend to your questions at the end of the podcast. So it's not going to be a show without me showing up and showing up. So I'm going to share my bio and then I'll come back and speak. So please do enjoy, and I'll come back. And let me stop this first. And then I'll come back and share my message with you. So please do enjoy. Thank you. I want you, as you think about your dreams and goals, to put this down. Rise to greater heights. Rise to greater heights, because you need to be clear about your career goals in order for you to gain guidance on professional development. Really, my goal as a mentor or as a coach is so simple. My goal is to study your current situation, identify limiting beliefs and other potential obstacles that you might be facing, and then design a plan of inspired action to empower you to pursue success and drive sustainable. I think whosoever said that the sky is the limit was wrong. From today on, I, Dr. Riel and Kunene, believe that the sky is our point of view. Mom. So I think whosoever said that the sky is the limit was wrong. From today on, I, Dr. Riel and Kunene, believe that the sky is our point of view. So let's all rise to greater heights. Point of view. So let's all rise to greater heights. Rise to greater heights.
Dr. Nampumelelo Rial Kunene is an international human rights policy analyst who consults on policies and procedures related to human rights compliance. She is a highly sought-after, energetic, certified Lace Brown international speaker. This passionate leader holds a PhD with a discipline in leadership and business. Dr. Rial N. Kunene is the author and host to Rise to Greater Heights, a book and YouTube channel to turn your fears into greater success while seizing new opportunities. She is also a coach, mentor, and an MC, well known for encouraging many to rise from mediocrity into greatness. Her vision is not only to motivate, but also to empower audiences with a fresh perspective inspiration they require to pursue success and drive sustainable outcomes. In a seriously funny way, Dr. Kunene is an award-winning author, 10 times #1 Amazon and international best-selling author. Her #1 best-selling book, Rise to Greater Heights, has inspired and empowered many to pursue their personal and professional passion to become go-getters. As a trainer, diplomacy protocol officer, and strategist, Rial believes that we are in full control of our choices. Her mission is to meet the needs and transform lives of her clients and her audience. She is also a true advocate for creating new policies that uphold human rights and prevent human rights violations. Dr. Kunene's purpose is to teach everyone about human rights and help organizations understand and promote human rights. Her goal is to study your current situation, identify limiting beliefs, then design a plan of inspired action to empower you to achieve specific outcomes in your life. This change maker, trailblazer, and revolutionary is pushing boundaries and creating a real change worldwide. Like a phoenix that never accepted defeat and rose from its own ashes, she wants to challenge you to unleash your greatness and rise to greater heights. Dr. Rial N. Kunene wears many hats. As a professional certified sales manager, CEO, certified travel counselor, publisher, medical esthetician, philanthropist, and a commissioner for oaths, following her dreams gave her purpose to see her goals through and understand that she does have everything she needs to reach her full potential. Her everyday message is that your journey to be a better person starts with you. So knowing who you are to your core will make you understand that you are the only one who can accomplish your dreams. Hebrews 11, Psalms 27 and 40 keeps her to rise to greater heights. The sky is no longer the limit, but now the sky is our point of view. So let's all rise to greater heights. Kings and queens, please join me. Welcome, Dr. Rial N. Kunene.
Well, thank you so much, amazing speakers. I know in the interest of time, I'm gonna go straight to the point, the 8 points that I am really gonna share today with you in order for you to rise to greater heights, because you need to hear this. I know I'm following like her as such a powerhouse, and just trying to fit my shoes, my feet in your shoes. Really, it's gonna take a while, but I'm gonna try. I know Pamela, she encourages to break free from the self-imposed limitations and the external validation so that we can live authentically and on our own terms. And then Vela, on the other side, she shared everything on personal and professional growth through travel and living abroad, the way she overcame all the challenges she shared with us. And then Carissa, on the other side, she was like, you know what? Your journey home is through yourself. So she shared about the nervous system and the inner child healing and healing wisdom of the body. And lastly, Jen, she shared everything on addiction. She was like, you know what? We need to work within ourselves first to be able to assist our loved ones, to be able to help the child who's just undergoing that kind of addiction, because if we're not healed, we're not going to be able to heal the world with our very own humanity. So I'm going to say what? I'm going to say, follow your passion. Follow your passion. Just ask yourself, what's holding you back from actually taking baby steps in the right direction? Is it fear? Is it procrastination? Is it distraction? Is it mediocrity? What's holding you back? Because you know what? There are many reasons why people don't reach their dreams, but you must understand the issues that keep you away from achieving your potential success. It's good to know what's keeping you away from your dreams, as you can then, you can try and change the way you approach them. So what's holding you back from going confident in the direction of your dreams? Kings and queens, it's so essential to assess your goals' progress. Once you identify, the reasons why you are being held back from actually reaching your goals, you can then try and work on them and improve. So the good thing is that you can always conquer the motives if you recognize them. So being here, it shows that, you know what, you're not willing to settle for that mediocre life. So don't let anyone stand in the way of your dreams. But you really don't have to see the whole staircase in order for you to get to the top, but you need to take the first step to get to the top. As my mentor always say, that you don't have to be great to get started, but you have to get started to become great in life. So get started today with all the nuggets that have been dropped on this platform in order for you to be able to rise to greater heights. Because you know what? Many people, they know what their passion is, but they are kind of frustrated by the process of trying to turn their passion into profit. Whether you are running your own company, maybe starting a business, or seeking that next promotion, or maybe that job, you'll have to ask yourself this question in order for it's going to help you to increase the financial rewards of what you are doing, whatsoever you're doing that you love, that you're passionate about, and see if you're making a real impact out there. So ask yourself this question: what difference am I passionate about in making in others' lives? Notice I didn't ask you, what are you passionate about? Instead, I just want you to determine the purpose of your passion, which is you are using it to positively impact the world. The type of drive, it usually attracts like opportunities that often leads to raises, job offers, new businesses, or maybe even a new career on its own. So in order for you to turn your passion into profit, you must fulfill a purpose that others need or want. When you focus on your passion, then find a way to allow your passion to impact others. In that way, trust me, you have a winning formula in this. So it's a wake-up call, kings and queens. It's a wake-up call to turn your passion into profit. It's a wake-up call to rise to greater heights. It's a wake-up call to take that first step. But when that alarm clock goes off, please don't ever hit the snooze button. Don't be like, I'll wake up in the next 2 minutes. I'll wake up in the next 4 minutes. You know what? Forever is a long time. Why don't you wake up, get going, and turn your passion into your career? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to provide all the 8 secrets. It's not going to be secrets anymore because I'm going to share with you. I'm going to share the 8 secrets that I've actually used to turn my passion into profit. If you follow the same system that I've really used to build an income generating business, just doing what I truly love, what I'm passionate about, and making a real impact out there, trust me, you will have your way to success. So one thing that you'll have to understand is that you can't give from an empty cup. You can never give from an empty cup. So it's high time you fill up your cup first. And then once your cup is full, you're going to be able to share with the world from the overflow. You can never, ever give from an empty cup. So it's good that we are here and you're going to be taking notes because we are forever, like Carissa mentioned that she's a forever student. So I am a forever student. So here are the 8 ways that you can actually go from your passion into profit in no time. The first point, if you can please write it down. Dream big, but start small. Dream big, but start small. Yes, you're allowed to dream big, but you have to start small. In the early stages of launching your business, for example, you're still in the learning stages. So you need to kind of test the waters first to see if whatsoever you're going to be doing is going to be scalable. You're allowed to dream big, but start small. And then point number 2, you'll have to write about your interest. Yes, write about your interest. One of the simplest ways to go from doing something that you truly love to profiting from it is to write about it. So if you can, please go out there. If you don't have a book as a speaker, I challenge you to go out there and start writing that book and publish that book. It's going to make it to #1 bestseller because you are passionate about what you are doing, really. And then point number 3, you'll have to become an expert speaker. Become an expert speaker. This is another way of turning passion into profit by becoming a public speaker. You know, like the speakers that we have here today, they are so passionate about of what they are sharing to the world. So go out there and get the proper training and become that public speaker. Share your message with the world. Share your story. You may never know whosoever is going to come across your story and forever their lives will be changed. So go out there and get the proper training and get started as a public speaker. And then point number 4, you'll have to create something. Create a product or maybe a community or a course, but create something. In order for you to turn your passion into profit, you could also create like a product. And community building is another excellent way to profit from your passion. So go out there. If you don't have maybe a Facebook group, for example, go out there and just build that group with like-minded individuals who's gonna hold you accountable for your own actions. And you can also create a course. It's easier than it was before to create a course and then start selling that course online. So go out there and create something, kings and queens, create something. And then point number 5, you can become a coach or a consultant. Become a coach or a consultant. You know, if you're wondering how to monetize your passion and love being a leader and helping others out there, consider becoming a coach or a consultant on the subject that you're passionate about. So yes, it comes with training, of course. And then once you feel like I am now qualified for becoming a coach or a consultant, and then start helping those individuals. And then I'm just like rushing to wrap it up. Point number 6, you'll have to start making YouTube videos. Yes, I've said that. And thanks to the internet, because turning your passion into profit is a lot easier than it was like 30 years ago. So if you can, just please go on YouTube and create that YouTube channel and start, posting your videos. And maybe you can even start like webinars or going live on Facebook and just share your passion with the world. And then point number 7, which is my all-time favorite, is network, network, and network. believe it or not, but networking can be a great way to profit from your interests. So go out there today. Like I believe in this platform, it's true networking that we have all these amazing speakers with us. So go out there and get to know what's happening around you in the community, events, and begin to network with like-minded individuals. And then the last point is to host an event. Yes, I say host an event. Now it's easier. You can host an online event or in-person event. You could also consider like hosting an event around whichever topic you are really interested in. So go out there and get started with all the 8 points that I've shared today. Get started and start turning your passion into profit in no time. So if you want to learn more about how to get started, for example, as a speaker, an author, a coach, or a consultant, and maybe a podcast host, you can just visit my website at www.risetogreaterheights.com. And by the way, I offer training in everything I've just mentioned today. So go out there and reach out on my website at www.risetogreaterheights.com, because you know what, growing up, I didn't have much in life, but I thank God that, you know what, I had everything because of my mama's love. I didn't have much in life because my father, he decided to have an early departure from this planet Earth. And I thank God that I missed that flight, because I'm still here. I'm still sharing my passion with the world. I'm still impacting as many lives as much as I can, because I had everything because of my mama's love. And I love you, love you, love you, love you, love you so much, Mom. So I think whosoever said that the sky is the limit was wrong. From today on, I, Dr. Riel and Kunene, believe that the sky is our point of view. So let's all rise to greater heights. And thank you so much. Thank you so much, amazing speakers. So at this moment, please feel free to share with the audience. You're gonna first share your final thoughts, how the audience can reach out to you, how they can work with you. If you have any freebie that you want to offer to the audience, please feel free to share with the audience. And I know Pamela, she might be, yeah, it's almost 3 a.m. on her time. I don't know. She might be tired, but please, Pamela, the stage is yours, Queen. Please share with the audience.
Okay, thank you, thank you. I absolutely love listening to all of you guys. It's like everyone brings, like you say, that something different, a unique part of your story, and we are our stories. And if we share our stories, we give other people permission to step outside their comfort zone too. So I applaud all of you for everything you do. I loved listening to every single one of you, and I'm nodding my head like this, and I really wasn't falling asleep. I was going, oh, that yes, yes, yes. So right, I loved it. So yeah, my name is Pamela Milliken. My work, I have about 100 and something free coaching videos on Reset with Pamela on YouTube. And so jump on there, and you'll find something on being stuck and not feeling good enough, and self-love and all those kind of different things. So I also have a book called Making Broken Beautiful, and that's available on Amazon, and that's about growing up with poverty, abuse, and abandonment. And the first part is biography, and it shares part of my story of growing up that way. And then the second half is the tools and strategies and techniques I use to determine how I was going to get past that and not allow that to define me the rest of my life or what I achieved. So that's great. It's just been adapted to a screenplay. So I'm looking forward to, thank you. And I'm looking forward to taking that somewhere else as well. But I'm so busy traveling around the world and doing all these amazing things. I actually have to step still and actually sort of focus on that. But, you know, I'll get there. And I also have a 6-week coaching program called Reset Your Life. And everything about me is Reset with Pamela on all my socials. And I have my website, www.pamelamilliken.com. And that has coaching packages and a way to work with me if you want to. I have a free discovery course, so you can see whether I'm the right coach for you. And because not everyone is the right one for everyone else. And I would like to make sure that you and I gel to make sure that I can give you the best opportunity to discover who you are and get past whatever's keeping you stuck. So that's kind of me, really. I want to say thank you, Dr. Riel, for inviting me. This has just been an absolute pleasure. It was worth getting up and staying up and listening to all these beautiful souls. I really loved everything everyone had to share. So thank you very much.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much, Pamela. And I believe that our audience really, they will definitely reach out to you, because we need someone who's just going to hold our hands side by side, walk with us. And you are indeed that individual. So Kings and Queens, if you're interested, if you want to learn more about Pamela, like I've mentioned, and her work, you can visit her website at PamelaMilliken.com and connect with her as well. She has shared her social media accounts, all of them. One thing I've realized is that it's everything reset with Pamela. So if you go on all your social media platforms and just search for Pamela, reset with Pamela, she's going to pop up. Thank you so much, Pamela. And yes, our audience, I believe they will reach out to you. You can go ahead, Villa, and please share with the audience.
Yes, thank you so much. I really enjoyed listening to all the speakers, and I feel like all the stories today connected with each other. So that was really beautiful. And yeah, whoever resonated with what I shared today and would like more support in their travels, or is thinking about moving abroad, or is living abroad already and would like to overcome some challenges and really feel at home wherever they are, you can connect with me on my website, unpackbyveer.com, or on any of the social media channels. I'm on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube. You can find me everywhere. And that's also Unpack by Veer. So I would love to connect with you further there. And I also have the option to schedule a free connection call in which we can talk about what type of support you're looking for. And I can share more about my coaching programs and sessions that I do. So that's the best way to get started and get in touch. So thank you so much. And unfortunately, I do have to jump off the call now. So I just want to mention that. So thank you all. And it was really nice to be part of this beautiful podcast that we had today all together. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Villa. Really, I know you'll have to hop off, you've mentioned, but your message really, it was really life-changing. It has also impacted me. I'm going to go back and watch the replay. But Kings and Queens, if you want to reach out to Villa, yes, she has shared her website. Her website is www.unpackbyveer.com. You will be in touch with Villa, and she's going to be your go-to girl, like in case like you just need guidance, you need you've traveled abroad and you don't know how to actually get started, or maybe to connect. You'll have to connect yourself to yourself, connect your home to yourself, because that's what she discovered. So thank you so much, Villa. Thank you. You can go ahead, Carissa, and please share with the world, please.
Oh, with the world, I appreciate that. Thank you. We really are quite a representation today of different corners of the globe, which is so beautiful and amazing that we can connect on this platform. So thank you so much for having me. Thank you everyone for sharing. I learned so much. My website is www.carissabrockman.com, just my first and last name. And on there, I do have a free resource. I've created just a 7-minute guided energy medicine video to really help calm and regulate the nervous system. So when we're just looking to find those extra little tools and techniques to just add into our day, many of us with dysregulated nervous systems have come about that way because our life is busy, chaotic, and we don't have a lot of time for maybe a 2-hour morning meditation. But this is just a practice that if anybody would like to grab, they can find on my website. And I'm also on social media on Instagram at Somatically Embodied, as well as TikTok. And there I'm just mostly just trying to support. We're all really walking each other home. And so as I'm learning along the way, and as I'm finding different things that are supporting my own healing process, or that I'm learning even from clients that I'm working with, I like to share there, and hopefully there's some nuggets that can be supportive. And finally, to work with me one-on-one, I also provide a free discovery call on my website. So I do one-on-one client work to really support those breakthroughs, support those healing connections, support you really being able to step into that highest embodied version of yourself. And then I'm also open to speaking opportunities, as I do love to share and teach about these topics and nervous system, all things inner child healing. So that is me. Yeah.
Wow, thank you so much, Carissa. Honestly, I believe that our audience will go out there and grab that 7-minute video, because you need someone like Carissa. If you're not quite familiar about your nervous system, she's your go-to. Just reach out to her at www.carissabrockman.com. carissabrockman.com. Her first name, her last name. www.enablenomore.com. You will definitely gain something from Carissa. And thank you so much, Carissa, for being with us. You can go ahead, Jen, and please share with the audience.
Yes, thank you so much for having me here today. And just to be in energy with all of you beautiful women has just been so empowering and so inspiring. So thank you so much. This is what I live for, is really connecting and sinking into this juicy energy of empowering ourselves and living our best lives. So, I really do believe that when I heal myself, I heal others. When we heal ourselves, we heal others. So my message today is, wherever you are on this journey, whether you're impacted by addiction, whether you're struggling with mental health, or you know somebody who is, you are not powerless, you are powerful, and it begins with you. You are the sacred secret to recovering your life and helping a loved one do the same. So you can find me at www.enablenomore.ca. I'm on Instagram at enablenomore. I have lots of different freebies on my website if you want to explore that. There's like a digital toolkit, so breath work, meditations. I have a codependency quiz to really just inquire compassionately to see where you may be embodying and having those codependent behaviors. I've written a book called A Bigger Mission with 11 other authors, which is an empowering, almost like a chicken soup for the soul kind of book of people who have really struggled in many different ways in their lives, impacted by trauma, and birthed their mission, the bigger mission behind whatever it is that you're going through. It's calling you to step into your power and your purpose. I have a as well on the 7 traps of addiction, which you can find on the website as well. So please, please, please reach out. You are never alone on this journey. And I do also offer one-on-one and group coaching programs. So please, I offer a free discovery call. I'm all about just connect, reach out. We'll figure out where we are. We'll chat, see where you are, see where you want to be, and create a strategy to help you get there, because you can. You can.
Wow.
So it was an honor. Thank you so much for having me.
Wow, thank you so much, Jen. And yes, I know many, they are struggling with their mental health. So Jen is your right person to reach out to if you want to, get started with your path to recovery. Jen is your go-to. Go on her website, www.enablenomore.ca. And she's going to guide you. She's going to guide you. Thank you so much, amazing speakers. We really don't take your presence on this platform for granted. I know we are all busy individuals. And for example, Pamela, in the middle of the night, she was like, yes, I will still show up. So I don't take your presence on this platform for granted. We are so honored. We are so humbled to say thank you to all amazing speakers who have shared their nuggets, their wisdom with us on this platform. We appreciate you. We are honored. We're saying thank you, amazing speakers. And to our audience in line, thank you so much for joining us here at Rise to Greater Heights Network, where you can always turn your fears into greater success while seizing new opportunities. I hope from all these amazing messages, from all these amazing speakers, you've been inspired, you've been motivated, and you are ready to rise to greater heights. So do join us next week at the same time, same place. Thank you. Merci. Siyabonga.
Let him laugh, let him weep, let him yell, let him sing. All they wanna say. Let him lay me traps and men to pray to Jehovah, me I pray. Let him laugh, let him weep, let him yell, let him sing. All they wanna say. Let him lay me traps and men to pray to Jehovah, me I pray. Let I be me instead of playing games. For chasing fame, let somebody sweat the lack of flames. No, living my life to the fullest and shout out my halala to the fullest. Let my lungs out. I'm still rising up to greater heights as long as